All right, next up we have my main man, Kobe. And Kobe's a dinosaur, y'all. He been back. He been a mentor for years. He runs the Tableau program. How's it going, Kobe? Tell us what you up to these days.
It's funny you said dinosaur. I was just thinking the other day, somebody was asking me when I went through Colaberry. I was like, it's been 6 years. I was like, wow, it blew my mind. I think it's been that long. But things are good. I'm currently at Wells Fargo, senior Tableau developer there. I'm doing really well, pretty happy, making a good living. So yeah, things are good with me.
So, as a senior Tableau developer, tell us a little bit about your day to day.
Yeah, so day to day we come in, we have our priorities, with being a developer, you'll have anywhere from like 1 to 5 projects in motion at one time. So I'm juggling. I come in, I see what updates are needed on what projects, which ones are priority, and then we have our daily meetings. Just a quick scrum call to see what's going on, see if anybody has any conflicts or any issues, and then we sit down and really start building, developing for the rest of the day. Really from there on out, in and out of meetings and developing. That's really it.
All right, so take us back 6 years ago. What were you doing before Colaberry, and what influenced you to take the program?
Yeah, so for me, I was living in North Carolina. I had a little personal training business. I was just finishing up school, and then an opportunity came up to move to Texas. And I moved to Texas. Didn't really have any clear-cut job plans, but I had a good friend that was in IT that told me about Colaberry, told me to go check it out. So I signed up for the intro class there, where they just kind of gave me an overview of what it was and what it was about. I'd always wanted to learn a little bit about coding. I knew it was a good career field to be in, but that presentation class blew me away. I mean, they did a great job explaining just the outlook, what the future of the jobs are going to look like, what I'd be doing. And it really, I mean, it worked out great for me. So yeah, once the intro class went through, I was hooked, and I went from there.
Right. I remember you had a friend that came in afterwards, and he ended up dropping out.
Yeah, he's still a good friend. So he came in, he went through most of the class. I think he just got a little intimidated at the end with hitting the job market. You see, he worked hard, he had all the skills. I think he just let the intimidation get to him. So, but yeah, I still talk to him. He's doing good.
Awesome, awesome. All right, so tell us about, well, I mean, it's probably hard to remember what it was like going through Colaberry back then, and the program is probably not anywhere close to being the same. So
No.
tell us about you coming back, being a mentor, playing a bigger role through Colaberry. Like, what do you get out of that? Why do you do that?
So initially I came back and just to be a mentor, and really just to give back. My goal was just to help 10 people get placed and then move on. That was kind of my goal at the time. I got 10 people placed, and I continued doing it because I enjoyed it. I enjoyed kind of helping the students kind of navigate not only the programming aspect, but also the job market. It's very fulfilling seeing them get placed. And then also later on, obviously, the Tableau curriculum. So when I went through the program, there was no tier two tools. You just learned the Microsoft BI stack. Once you finish that, you're on your way. Now Colaberry has the tier two tools with the Power BI, the Click, and the ETL and Tableau. So that opportunity opened up for me to come teach because I had just picked up Tableau on the job. And then that helped me also to learn Tableau even more because prepping material and teaching all you students all the stuff, it takes a lot of work and effort to make sure everything's understood as I teach it. So yeah, but a lot's changed in Colaberry.
So you've seen a lot of people come through this program.
A lot.
What is it to you that separates the people that are successful from the people that fall out?
Well, you already said it. I mean, it really does come down to hard work. I mean, usually as a mentor, I can usually tell pretty quickly who's going to cruise through it and has that, that grit, that person that's willing to really dive in, work hard, make sacrifices. All the students who went through it, it takes a lot of dedication, a lot of consistency. Yeah, just a lot of focus. So really just showing up, as cliche as that may sound, just ready to
What
come
do
in and
you
make
think?
sacrifices.
What do you think is different in the people that have that grit going through and the people that maybe need to build that as they go through? What do
Yeah, that's good.
you think it's life experiences? Do you think, I don't know. What do you think it is?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think for some people's life experience, some people just have maybe more things going on. I know for me, where my grit came from when I came to the course, as I said, I just moved to Texas and I didn't have any backup plan. So I was all in. So I worked, 10 hours a day every day on Colaberry until I finished. So, but to develop that grit, I think part of it is life experience. Part of it is just habit, getting into a good routine. If you're not like disciplined and sitting down every day and doing what you need to do, and you're easily distracted and you're not kind of honing in that discipline, it's a little bit hard to find that groove and work that grit that you need.
Yeah, I agree. And I've been trying to crack that case for years now. But yeah, it's definitely we can definitely see the people pretty early on that are gonna fly through it, right? And
Yeah, you can pick
so
them up.
they have, what are some of those characteristics they have?
Like I said, the ones that are most engaged, the ones that the students reach out to me with questions, who constantly want to learn. They show up for all the classes. They really try to understand everything. And I do think for some people it's all in or not, like that grit. Like for me, like I said, I didn't have a backup plan, and I know a lot of students who've come up and they work really good jobs, so they got good salaries. They're not quite as motivated to get through the class. Where some other students who don't have that benefit and who have the back kind of against the ropes, those are the students that seem to really get pushed forward really quickly because they got no backup plan. So
Yeah, I'd agree with that. It's always harder to get people to work once they're already making money. Majority of people that start making money, they're like, oh yeah, I'm good. They kind of sit back, easy street. Very rarely do I find people that have made money and they continue to work extra hard. Like that really separates people. I want to open it up for questions. Anybody have any questions? You have a mentor, instructor's point of view, but also someone who has been a student in this program as well.
Hi, Kobe.
hey,
Kobe
Nagel.
was my mentor. Good to see you again.
Yeah, good to see you.
Okay,
How are you?
I'm good, thank you. I thought I'm the oldest one in this group. I thought I'm the dinosaur.
Oh, I might be the one now. I've been here for a while. Yeah, it's
Okay,
good to see
good to
you.
see you.
Yeah, good to see you.
Nagam is up next.
Yeah.
All right. Anybody have any questions they want to ask Kobe? Pick his brain. So what's the biggest piece of advice you would give people going through the program?
Find your pace, find your groove. If it's 4 hours a day, if it's 2 hours a day, if it's 8 hours a day, find that groove and just be on it every day. No excuses. Life gets busy, the holidays come, and all kinds of stuff like that. But if you can just even if it's 30 minutes a day to practice your programming, to work on interview questions, just to look at the job market and submit, all that little bit adds up. So finding your pace, foot to the gas pedal and don't let off. I see a lot of students, they do really good. They get half, 2/3 of the way through the course, and they just fall off. And then or they take a break. That's the worst thing I hear when students take a break, because I know they can be back 2 weeks, a month, and you learn so much in a short amount of time. That short break, you start forgetting stuff, and then you have the back pedal and refigure stuff out. So like I said, just being consistent and finding that pace, and don't give up. I see a lot of people drop off. Just don't give up.
And always equate this to running on a treadmill, right?
Mhm.
Like you running on a treadmill, you got a good groove. If you jump off the treadmill, it's going to be a lot harder to jump back on,
Yeah.
So I think people don't realize when they get into that groove how much they're at it, how much they've picked up their steam until they stop, and then they find it hard to get back to that level.
Yeah.
Yes, Kobe. My name is Walter. I just barely got through the boot camp. I'm intending to do the IPBC, join the program as of next week.
Okay, awesome.
Yes, and now that you heard everything you said, what would be your best advice in terms of minimum amount of hours? I know they say 30, but clearly, to dedicate to complete the project in 6 months. That's my goal.
Mhm. So I'm sorry, what was the question?
Like weekly hours that I have to actually dedicate. So I plan myself to hopefully finish the IPBC in 6 months based on your experience.
It's different for different people. It depends, how quickly you pick up things. I would say, it's more important to be consistent than as far as having a certain amount of time. But That's a hard one to answer, you know. What was the recommended, Ali? Like 20 hours a week was kind of the standard?
Yeah, I mean, what I've seen, if somebody's putting in maybe 4 to 6 hours a day, then 6 months seems realistic. But yeah, it's hard to judge it because how long do you get stuck? How good of a problem solver have you become? Because once you become a really good problem solver, you don't get stumped by errors and stuff. You figure your way out. But early on, you get an error, you might spend half a day working on it, or it might take you a couple of days to figure it out. So there's a lot of varying factors. But I would say if you really want to keep up that date, you're going to be having to do over 4 hours a day.
Yeah, I would say it's important to show up as much as possible. I tell my students it like this, like, you're going to get a good job that pays well. So the more time you can dedicate to this upfront effort, the more money you're going to make on the other side, right? And you're kind of losing money the longer you take, in a sense that, like, if you're procrastinating, you're not on the ball, you find excuses, or and like I said, people who have cushy jobs not quite as motivated. But when you think about that transition, that pay bump you're going to get, the longer, the more time you burn not getting there, you kind of lose money in a way. And maybe that motivates some people, maybe it doesn't. Maybe that's not a good way for everybody to look at it, but that's how I looked at it when I came through. The quicker I get done, the more I can get paid, move on. So
yeah, I mean, I agree with that because if you're focused and you're learning and you're on it, like, your goal is to be at that level when you get your job, because once you get your job, you're working at it 8 hours a day. So you're gonna grow from there. But trying to make that jump into doing it part-time to doing it full-time, that requires such a huge amount of your engagement to get up to that level, right? But then once you get your job, you'd be fine. But it's building up to that level and the work ethic. You can't do a couple of hours a day and expect to build enough steam to get you there, right? It has to be a major focus in your life.
Okay. Thank you so much, Gerald.
Yeah, I'll give you one more piece, Walter. So like I said, when I went through Colaberry, I was on it like probably I treat it like a full-time job, 8 to 10 hours a day every day. And I got through the course in about 4 months at the time. But it's different for everybody. So if you say cut that in half and do 4 or 5 hours a day, then maybe you look at 6 to 8 months. So that's about the best rough estimate I can give you.
Wow. Thank you so much, guys. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, Kobe. We appreciate you taking the time out today to come by and talk. I know people appreciate hearing from people that have been there, done that, seen the whole thing. So we appreciate you.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll see you very soon. Monday nights, Tableau events. All right, guys.